Hello everyone, my name is Denise and today I'll be doing a review on this book, The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. Clive Staples Lewis was born on November 1898. He died in November 1963. He was a British writer, literary scholar and an Anglican lay theologian. He held many academic positions, including his position at Oxford. He's best known for his writing of the book The Chronicles of Narnia, but there are other excellent works that he has done, including Screwtape Letters, Mere Christianity, The Problem of Pain, and The Great Divorce. So today I'll be reviewing one of his books, The Four Loves. So this book, as you can see, with very widely spaced lines and not that many pages. If you are determined and you have kind of like lots of free time on hand, you probably can finish it in a day or two. But I've been reading it very slowly, given my new commitments as a mom of a young baby and of a 9-year-old. So it's alright, I don't mind savoring it, but you don't have to go at a snail's pace like me. You can read a bit faster. Okay, so let's go on. I'm going to start with page 21, which is actually the quote that brought me to this book. I had another book called, which was a compilation of small little passages from C.S. Lewis. And this particular passage was in that book. So it was so good, I decided to get the full book and to read it. Okay, so I'm going to read it. This is page 21. Need love cries to God from our poverty. Gift love longs to serve or even to suffer for God. Appreciative love says, we give thanks to thee for thy great glory. Need love says of a woman, I cannot live without her. Gift love longs to give her happiness, comfort, protection, if possible, wealth. Appreciative love gazes and holds its breath and is silent. Rejoices that such a wonder should exist, even if not for him. Will not be wholly dejected by losing her, would rather have it so then never to have seen her at all. I'm going to rewind a little to page 20. Appreciative pleasures. It is the feeling which would make a man unwilling to deface a great picture, even if he were the last man left alive and himself about to die. Okay, so that's very interesting because it reflects a love that goes beyond our utilitarian sensibilities, our need to possess and to use things we perceive are good and beautiful. Okay, so in this passage is a good summary of the book, how C.S. Lewis sort of breaks up love into different kinds of love: need love, appreciative love, and gift love. These three kinds. And it is like it brings to mind a talk that I heard Fulton Sheen give. Of course, Fulton Sheen, is quite dated, but he gave a talk once, and he spoke about being on a plane, and he met this really beautiful flight attendant. And when he said that, he noticed some movement in the crowd. He says that a lot of people think that priests have no idea of what is beautiful or not. But that is totally not true, at least for him. He says that even though we cannot order, we can always have a look at the menu. He was very clear about what he considered beautiful or not. And this flight attendant who he spoke to was very beautiful to him. And he convinced her to help out at the leper colony, a bunch of abandoned patients. And she gained a whole lot of good out of that. So in a way, Fulton Sheen was also showing her what true beauty is, not only surface level beauty which she possessed, but at the same time he's also engaging in a kind of appreciative love of this beautiful young woman. Yeah, okay. Of course, the beautiful young woman, after visiting lepers, came back with a very interesting comment, which is, I've seen great beauty, true beauty. I mean, like, if she really wants to see superficial beauty, all she has to do is to look in the mirror. But looking at the lepers suffering with such great dignity, that was the true beauty. So her appreciation of the transcendental goods, right, the true good and beautiful, was elevated by that experience. Okay, so moving on, let's go on to page 58. Okay, that's talking about like let's say there's a family system. Everybody is maybe an atheist. Then one of them suddenly converts into a Christian, or all of them are not so educated. One of them suddenly got a bachelor's degree, started to discover the art of maybe painting or science. So this is how the family reacts, because there's a sense of desertion, even robbery, right? This page 58, someone or something has stolen our boy or girl. He who was one of us has become one of them. Okay, so I'm going to read this part because I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Sometimes a curious double jealousy is felt, or rather, two inconsistent jealousies which chase each other round in the sufferer's mind. On the one hand, this is all nonsense, all bloody highbrow nonsense, all canting humbug. But on the other hand, supposing it can't be, it mustn't be, but just supposing there was something in it. Supposing there really were anything in literature or in Christianity. How if the deserter has really entered a new world which the rest of us never suspected? But if so, how unfair? Why him? Why was it never opened to us? Or to me specifically, right? To me, why him and not me? A cheat of a girl, a whippersnapper of a boy, being shown things that are hidden from their elders. And since that is clearly incredible and unendurable, jealousy returns to the hypothesis, all nonsense. Okay, this is very interesting. I'm going to share a quote. Maybe those of you who are parents might know it. Like my boy, he likes to watch this movie called Plankton on Netflix. It's a SpongeBob movie. So Plankton is the smartest of all the other planktons in his clan. And he actually managed to go to college. On the way out, when he was going to college to become smart in order to take over the world, he said goodbye to his family members, and every single one of them made fun of him and just laughed at him in ridicule. So I thought that scene very greatly encapsulates this idea of the double jealousy. Mainly more of the it's all nonsense part. Okay, so this has been brewing in my mind, this question about what if one family member is like vastly different from the rest of them, of the family members. How would he or she be treated? And I'm so happy for the wisdom that C.S. Lewis gave me in that short passage. No wonder they wouldn't like that person, right? Like, how dare God favor that person more than me? Open this person to all this knowledge and wisdom, or even bring him in Christianity, into Catholicism. Why him and why not me? So it is a jealousy. At the same time, for example, if you've never ventured into the area of knowledge, and all of us are like that because none of us can know every single thing, no matter how polymath you are, there's always areas of naivete that are not so explored. So the Dunning-Kruger, because we don't know it, the easiest thing to do is to play it down, to downplay it, and to say that it's nonsense, that my area of knowledge is superior. So for example, if my son suddenly became a very good physicist, I know I'm really bad at physics, I might also develop that jealousy. So I'm not saying that I'm immune to it, but now I know it, so I can possibly be prepared to counter it. Next, it's talking about the distortion of gift love. Okay, this is page 62. Gift love. But this, as we saw, is a gift love, but one that needs to give, therefore needs to be needed. But the proper aim of giving is to put the recipient in a state where he no longer needs our gift. A much higher love, a love which desires the good of the object as such, from whatever source that good comes, must step in and help or tame the instinct before it can make the abdication. So this, of course, applies to teachers, also applies to counselors. Because counselors, this is controversial, some of you may disagree, counselors are also teachers, except that we don't really teach in a platform style. We teach in a more Socratic way. We ask questions, get you to reflect, draw from your life experiences, and for example, you've been through some good experience or been through some bad experience. If you don't really talk about it, process it, then you may not be gathering all the lessons that can be learned from that experience. It's like there's an orange, you want to squeeze it, make sure every single drop of juice is harnessed. So counseling, if asked properly, with enough evaluative questions, will have that effect. Those evaluative Socratic questioning is a form of teaching. Eventually, this way of reflecting becomes built into the client's or the patient's mind, and he can do it himself. He no longer needs the counselor. Although the relationship with the counselor still exists at the magic pocket at the back of the client's mind, offering great support and co-regulation when required. So let's look at an example of Dr. Quartz, how this Dr. Quartz made mistakes similar to many teachers and counselors in our modern day. I'm old enough to remember the sad case of Dr. Quartz. No university boasted a more effective or devoted teacher. He spent the whole of himself on his pupils. He made an indelible impression on nearly all of them. He was the object of much well-merited hero worship. Naturally and delightfully, they continued to visit him after the tutorial relation had ended, went round to his house of an evening and had famous discussions. But the curious thing is that this never lasted. Sooner or later, it might be within a few months or even a few weeks, came the fatal evening when they knocked on his door and were told that the doctor was engaged. After that, he would always be engaged. They were banished from him forever. This was because at the last meeting they had rebelled. They had asserted their independence, differed from the master, and supported their own view, perhaps not without success. Faced with the very independence which he had laboured to produce, and which it was his duty to produce if he could, Dr. Quartz could not bear it. So let's not become a Dr. Quartz, shall we? It's a reminder to myself with regards to my clients and also to my kids. If they're able to be independent, I need to let them explore and to have their own thoughts and beliefs and strong convictions, even if they differ from mine. I think only then can we have a long-term healthy relationship that will not go sour. Okay, so this is about half of the book, and there's a whole lot more at the back, even talking about Eros love and charity. So I would love to, if I could, bring myself to finish this book and do a part 2 of the review, but I don't want to promise that, because I promised it for the other book that I will have another review, but up to now I haven't gotten myself to do it yet, so I don't want to make empty promises. But with that said, if I had control all my faculties, I'll probably want to finish this book and do a part 2, okay? So with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope it was helpful to you. Kindly press like, share, and subscribe if it was helpful to you. Thank you so much, and God bless.